So Hollywood is, of course, doing what Hollywood always does, and they have now come up with their latest project that has been released, and that, of course, is Willow. Lucasfilm's Willow is now officially one of the worst opening shows probably in recent memory, because it is essentially a super woke show, and it's one of those things where it's a diversity checkbox kind of show. They wanted to swap so many different original characters from the original Willow and try to make it into something that it's not. So we're going to get to the article, guys. This one is from Bounding Into Comics, and it says Lucasfilm's Willow audience ratings is in the toilet and is described as a farting bestish of a crap show. Audience ratings for the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm's Willow series are in the toilet. Well, that's because Walt Disney is Walt Disney. I mean, nobody's happy with Walt Disney right now. The only people who are happy with Walt Disney are the people who are basically lunatics online and on Twitter. That's the ones who are happy with Disney. Otherwise, literally everybody is saying Disney's trash. The Willow series is a continuation of George Lucas and Lucasfilm's 1988 Willow film, and is described as a story about an unlikely crew of heroes on a quest to protect Anduin from an even larger foe than they had imagined possible. The show's creator Jonathan Kasdan confirmed the show features a queer relationship at its core, explaining to Polygon, "What's interesting is I believe we're at a moment where you can go fully paradigm shift into that. And hopefully the way that it's going to happen is that these kinds of queer stories, particularly like this one, that were just organic to narrative we were telling, find their way in and becomes less of a surprising and unusual thing to see." And that's their true goal. Listen, I mean, listen, they're telling you what they want to do. Okay, don't let these guys fool you and try to make it seem like they're stupid and they don't really know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. This particular part right here, where they want it to become less of a surprising and unusual thing to see. That's the whole point of indoctrination. That's the whole point of trying to make things more normalized. That's the word they want to do. They want to use the word normalized because they're trying to make this thing into something that it's not. They know that most people are not queer, most people are not LGBTQ or whatever the case may be, but they would have 50% representation for that particular 1-2% group in media. They want that because it makes people more susceptible to being numb to it, and they can basically slowly begin the indoctrination through entertainment and through media as a whole. So it says, Caston added, because it's part of the landscape of the world around us, just like the diversity elements of casting, if you look at the original Willow, by no fault of anyone, it's not very diverse. And as we enter 2022, the world has changed. And in the way we're absorbing entertainment and the faces we're reflecting in entertainment have expanded enormously. And we just hope the show can be growing as the world grows, just as frankly the movie was. This comment is such nonsense. It really is nonsense because at the end of the day, the faces that are in the entertainment have nothing to do with the entertainment as a whole. Okay, the reason why people have a problem with this diversity nonsense is because you're forcing it down people's throats. It's inorganic. When you set up here that it's an organic story, I call bullshit. I call complete bullshit that, oh, it was just so organic to the way we were telling the story. No, it wasn't. You put that in there because you have to put that in there. Because companies like GLAAD, GLAAD, they want to focus on Hollywood studios and force them to make LGBTQ content, or else that's what they want you to do. And you know for a fact that you did that because you need to make companies like that happy. That's the whole reason why this shit's in here. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in here. Just like it wasn't in here before, it wouldn't be in here now. But because it's hip to do so, and because it gets you ESG scores and it gets you money, that's why you do it. That's the only reason why you do it. On top of the fact that you guys are basically lunatics. I mean, that goes without saying. It says, one thing that I love about the movie is that you have this very classical fantasy, but at the heart of it, you have this very contemporary Val Kilmer character who has a sound that it's unlike any other 80s fantasy character that has ever been. And it was important to keep us alive, that spirit of moving the genre into a contemporary sound, he concluded. Cast in further detail to Entertainment Weekly, it was a totally organic thing. See, they keep telling you that it was organic, but I don't believe them, because if you have to convince people that something was organic, like, guys, no, we swear this was totally organic. It just came natural. I call bullshit. I really do, because all you're talking about this show or about this movie is literally about the diversity. You're not talking about the entertainment. You're talking about the diversity in the entertainment. That's all you talk about in your interviews. That's all you talk about in your segments. It's literally your only talking point. And that's what proves to me that this was not organic in the slightest. It says it was not a decision that was ever made because we thought we needed queer representation. Yeah, sure. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. You're fighting against the whole checkboxing, argument. Sure. It says in the show, or that it was something that we were intent on doing. What was clear was that we wanted to put at the center of the story a daughter of Mad Mardigan who was torn between two people. One of those people was this person she was obligated to marry and was not in love with, and the other one was her best friend who she was in love with. It felt very natural as the pilot was coming together, and the question about who these women are and how they empower the next generation, that the best friend would be female too. He added, it never even occurred to us that we were making a choice to do a queer relationship, so much as it was to a story choice to put Kit into this interesting dynamic of friendships and romances. Listen, I don't believe them. I'm sorry, and I'm not the only one who doesn't believe them either. Look at this audience score. This audience score is telling. It is telling. And to be honest with you, usually LGBTQ oriented entertainment usually has a 90+% because critics are just bought and paid for. But the fact that it has an 84% and is slowly dropping goes to show that even some of the critics are seeing past the nonsense. But the audience score truly tells the real story. And 38%, you're not gonna convince me that's review bombing. That's people who are truly just annoyed with where this content decided to go. It says fans have not taken to the new series. On Rotten Tomatoes, the series has an average audience score of 38%. On IMDb, the series has a weighted average vote of 5.5 out of 10 from 2,285 users. It received 437 perfect 10 out of 10 ratings and 662 1 out of 10 ratings. So this is obviously one of those polarized kind of movies, okay? It's just like The Rings of Power, where The Rings of Power is very polarized, and that's because they made it polarized. It's the same thing. Willow made it polarized, and now you're going to have the review bombing up top, and you're going to have the review bombing on the bottom. It's just what it is. Metacritic users give the show its worst score of 1.8. Yo, Metacritic does not play around. 1.8 out of whatever. It has received 12 negative reviews and only 2 positive reviews. Wow. Audiences aren't the only ones who dislike the series. YouTuber Overlord DVD, aka Doomcock, describes this series as a farging bestures of a crap show. Unbelievable just how wretched and rote and by the book woke this trash is. He later added, Willow sucked, alright. Willow just sucked. It's embarrassing in a lot of ways, not just for fans of Willow. For fans of Willow, it's probably going to be excruciating, but I'm just talking about just as a casual viewer. One question why one is watching this, why one is having access to Disney Plus. So listen, guys, at the end of the day, we know this is exactly what they're going to do. They don't care. Hollywood doesn't care, and we can make content and we can talk about it and we can express ourselves because we're fans of the original content. But at the end of the day, Hollywood does not give a crap, okay? Hollywood is going to do what Hollywood does, and they are going to make sure that they get all those juicy ESG scores, all that juicy diversity, equity, and inclusion boxes checked, because that's what's going to give them corporate money. They're being subsidized to do so, and they're going to continue to do so long as the money is there. But once the money dries up, then we're going to see who's really about that life and who's really just about the money. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought of today's story, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.